Hello, this video is about inequalities. The four symbols we use in inequalities are the greater than symbol, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. So you know the numbers. The number 3 is greater than 1, 2 is less than 5, that's correct. Greater than or equal to, well, you can have 3 is greater than or equal to 3, that's valid. 3 is also greater than or equal to 1, but both of those are true, and less than or equal would be something similar as well. You need to be aware of the number systems as well, the types of number that we're dealing with. We have natural numbers, we have integers, and we have real numbers. So the natural numbers is a set of the counting numbers, 1, 2, 3, and so on up to infinity. Integers are from negative infinity including 0 up to positive infinity. They're all whole numbers. Natural numbers and integers are all whole numbers. And real numbers are all numbers which can be plotted on a number line. They're all the numbers which can be plotted, including fractions and decimal points. So let's have a quick look at the number line. So the natural numbers, we show it on a number line. We just have a little tick here beside the number to show that it represents number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and the arrow goes on forever to show that this number line goes on for infinity in that direction. You notice there's no arrow down here because it doesn't go any further than 1. In the integers, it goes arrows are both ways, and you don't have to list. There's no particular reason why I stopped at 6 or 3. You just have to give it a certain number to show the direction that the number line is going to go. Real numbers, this one looks like this, the arrow is going both ways, but with real numbers, we're not just interested in the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 0, we're interested in everything in between. So I'm just going to highlight that we normally darken this line a little bit more. So you try and draw a thick line with your pencil, So that'll be an example of how you would identify the real numbers. Now we're going to do with multiply and divide by a negative number. We all know that 2 is greater than 1. But if we multiply both sides by -1, we're going to get -2 and less than -1. Let's see if that's true. You can see that 2 is indeed greater than 1. And if you look at your number line, you can see that -2 is indeed less than -1. So when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must change the sign of the inequality. I'll write that down. So when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you change the direction of the inequality. So if we take an example of in algebra, I would say that -x is greater than 3. Well, then you're going to get x is less than -3. We multiply both sides by -1, and then we change the sign of the inequality. Let's do another example, maybe where we divide. So in this case, we have -2x is greater than 8. I can divide both sides by 2. There's a few ways I can do this. I'm now going to get -x is greater than 4. Now multiply both sides by -1. I'm going to get x is less than -4. So I've divided. In this case, I divided by a positive number. I could have divided by -2 as well. And let's do that. -2x is greater than 8. Divide both sides by -2. Divide that by -2 as well. And now I'm going to get x, and then I change because I divided by a negative number, is less than -4. Okay, let's look at this example. Solve 2 times 2x minus 4 is greater than 3 times 3x plus 1 minus 1, and x is a real number. You solve it in the very same way that you would solve an equality, an ordinary equation. You multiply your 2 into the 2x minus 4, you're going to get 4x minus 8. You then put in your inequality sign, and then you continue on as normal. Multiplying the 3 by the 3x plus 1 is going to give you 9x plus 3, and there's your -1. Add up your 3 and your -1 is going to give you 2. At this stage, now get your x's onto one side. So we're going to bring, in this case, he chooses to bring his 9x over to here, which is going to get minus 4x minus 9x. And then he brought the -8 over to the right-hand side, so we have 2 plus 8. So 4x minus 9x is minus 5x, and that's greater than 10. Now we have to multiply both sides by -1. So we're going to get 5x is less than 10. We change the sign of the inequality. It's less than -10. And then divide by 5, and that's going to give you x is less than -2. Part B says show the solution set on a number line. So we draw a number line. We recognize that they're real numbers, and we know that x is less than -2. So you see this little circle. We don't shade in the 2 because we know that it's less than 2. 2 is not included. It's not part of the solution set. And then we draw our line here with the arrow going on forever because x is less than -2, so it goes on this way forever. And we just put a few numbers in. You tend to put in a number, 1 or 2 numbers to the right that you need to show that they're not included, but you show that they're there as part of the number line. And then the -2 is not shaded in, and then the dark line going all the way across. Let's have a look at another example. Okay, solve 5x plus 6 is less than or equal to 8x minus 6. X again is a real number, and graph your solution set. So he's two different methods here. Let's see what he's doing. So the first set is he took the 8x across to the left hand side. So 5x take away 8x, and he brought the 6 across to the other side. So we're subtracting 6 from both sides in this case. So 5x take away 8x, and then -6 over here, less this other 6, which would be -6 as well. So we're going to get -3x is less than -12. Divide both sides by -3. So we're going to have to divide by a negative number, so therefore we are going to have to change the inequality sign. So we're going to get -3x divided by -3 is equal to x, and that's greater than or equal to -12 divided by -3, which is +4. X is greater than 4, greater than or equal to 4. So now we do dot in the 4 because it's equal to it as well. And it's greater than that, and we should darken this whole line because it's a real number with the arrow. The second method was where you choose to bring across the 5 to this side. And the reason I like to do that is because I'm going to get 8x take away 5x, which is 3x. And I prefer 3x to -3x. So my choice was to bring the 5x over here. So then I have to bring my -6 over to here, which is going to become +6. So I have 6 plus 6 is less than or equal to 3x. So 12 is less than or equal to 3x, which means that 4 divide both sides by 3. It means that 4 is less than or equal to x. This is the same as x being greater than or equal to 4. So look, x is greater than or equal to 4, or 4 is less than or equal to x. Now we're going to have a look at a word problem. A cab company has a call-out charge of €5 and then charges €3 per kilometre, and Kate only has €20 for her fare home. And it says let x represent the number of kilometres she travels. So if she gets charged by €3 per kilometre, we know that the cost for the number of kilometres will be 3 multiplied by x. So the cost is going to be 3 times x. It's €3 per kilometre, and the number of kilometres is x, plus a €5 call-out charge. Now this 3x plus 5 is what the cost of her taxi fare is going to be, but she only has €20. So 3x plus 5 must be less than or equal to 20. So now you can solve the inequality. So 3x plus 5 is less than 20, less than or equal to 20. 3x is less than or equal to 20 minus 5, and so on. So x is less than or equal to 5. So x is the number of kilometres. So Katie can only travel up to 5 kilometres or €20, which sounds pretty shabby to me. Now we'll deal with a couple of types of questions that you've been asked regarding number lines. So you may be asked to draw a number line. So x is greater than 2 and x is an element of the natural numbers. Sometimes you'll be given the number line, they'll draw the number line for you, and all you have to do is fill in, the numbers on it. So if x is greater than 2 and x is a natural number, well then I'm going to, so the little dots are there already for the numbers. So that indicates that's position 1, that's number 2, and so on. So if I'm x is greater than 2, I know that 2 is not included, so I can do a bar around this, a kind of a solid dot around that, and I can draw my arrow here. So that's answering that question. X is greater than 2 and x is a natural number. Sometimes they won't give you the numbers, and you might have to do it yourself. So then you're going to draw the little numbers in. So maybe start at 0. You might do 1 or 2 here. 1, 2, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Now x is less than -3, so minus 4, minus 5. Now if x is less than, I'm going to put an arrow going this way, and it is an integer, and it's less than or equal to -3. So I can put a solid dot around that. Okay, and you notice I'm not doing, it's less than or equal to -3, so that will be fine there. Okay, now when it's a real number, negative x is less than -5. The first thing you're going to do with this is multiply it by -1 to get x on its own. So I'm going to make this x, flip the sign of the inequality, is greater than 5. So I've multiplied both of the terms by -1, and then I flipped the inequality because I multiplied by a negative number. So now I'm going to draw the number line. If x is greater than 5, you don't need loads and loads of numbers here below 0. Okay, so just maybe a couple of numbers to kind of give us the idea what ballpark we're in. Okay, I think these numbers are good. I have a few below the 5 and I have a few above the 5. I've got it's going to infinity in that direction, and because it's a real number, I know that, one second, I know it's a real number, so it's going to be greater than 5. So I'm going to put a circle around the 5 because I'm not including the 5, and I then do this. Okay, goes on forever. I make a thick line. When it's a real number, all these numbers in here are included. Another type of question you may be asked would be to identify the inequality. They will show you a picture of a number line and you to identify what the inequality is. So pause the video and have a look at that and then press play to see the solution. Okay, here's the first one. X is greater than 0. X is an element of the natural numbers. Or you can also go x is greater than or equal to 1 and x is an element of the natural numbers. Okay, I'll do the others now. So press pause and if you haven't done these. Okay, the second one here, x is less than or equal to 1 and x is an integer. Or x is less than 2 and x is an element of the integers. And on the real number one here, we knew it was a real number because it has a solid line on it. And x is greater than 2 and x is an element of the reals. In this case, it's never equal to 2 because there's a little circle around that one. Okay. Another type of problem you may be asked to solve is to solve the inequality and then plot it on the number line. So something like this, 2x plus 3 is less than x plus 7 and x is an integer. I'm going to decide to get my x to this side here, so I'm going to subtract x from both sides. And so minus x, both sides, minus x. That's going to give me x plus 3 is less than, I have 7 left on this side. And I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. I'm going to get x is less than 4. And x is an integer, so when I have to plot my line, I have to do this as well. And so let me see, what numbers will I pick? Less than 4, so I'm going to pick 5 here. I'm going to pick 4, 3, 2, 1. And because it's an integer, I may show it going into the negative numbers as well, minus 2. And I know it goes on forever in that direction there. And I'm going to highlight these. So it's less than 4. So obviously 4 isn't included. So I can then put a little solid dot around these ones here. And then the arrow going on. And maybe do the arrow in the same color as the dots. Okay, let's have a go with this one. In fact, pause the video, you have a go at this one now, and then press play to see how you got on. Okay, I'm now going to choose to bring I might as well bring the 4x over here. So I'm going to get 2x, take away 4x is minus 2x, greater than or equal to. I have a 3 here, I have a negative 5 here. I'm going to add the 5 onto both sides. It's going to give me 8. X is a real number. I'm now going to divide by 2. So it's going to give me negative x is greater than 4. I'm now going to multiply both sides by negative 1 and flip the inequality sign. So x is less than or equal to minus 4. I then plot this. X is less than minus 4, so I'm not going to go up here with maybe just 1 and 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. I didn't need all these, did I? There was too many of them. Then minus 5 and maybe minus 6. Okay, and it's less than that, so I'm going to do, now I need to identify now it is a real number. So let me see, I'm going to do a red line, a solid red line now, and it's going to be from equal to, so I can put this solid line going that way and an arrow there. There's overkill here with the numbers on the right hand side. So x is less than or equal to minus 4. So I've got minus 4 and it's equal to it, and there we go. Okay, I hope that helped. Talk to you soon. Thank you.